All right, so this unit 9, talks about surface area and volume. This unit is very, very formula heavy. So there are a lot of formulas. So I put together some notes at a glance so that you would have all the formulas kind of all together in one document. So besides the formulas, it's also very, very important that you learn how to distinguish what the shape is. So I kind of go through that a little bit here on this document as well. But just to kind of go through very quickly, a prism is going to be a shape, a three-dimensional shape that has two parallel bases. So you can see here, this one has two triangles that are parallel. So it's called a triangular prism. This one here has two pentagons that are parallel, so it's a pentagonal prism. This one has two rectangles that are parallel, so it's called a rectangular prism. It's very important that you can tell the difference between a prism and a pyramid. So here, a pyramid comes to just one single point, which is called an apex. You'll see if you take a look here at your prisms, none of them, come on, camera. There we go. None of them come to just one single point. So that's also another way you can tell the difference between a prism and a pyramid. A cylinder is exactly what you expect it to look like. Let me move the camera a little bit so you can see here. Here's a cylinder, right? It just looks like a can, a can of soup, for instance. That would be a cylinder. And a cone is easily recognizable, right? Because it looks like an ice cream cone. Pretty simple. The pyramid and the prisms are really the two that are most difficult. And just like you name a prism by its base, you're going to name a pyramid by its base. And this actually got moved down, but this would be a square pyramid because the base is square. If it was rectangle, it'd be a rectangle pyramid. This here, the base here is a hexagon, so it's a hexagonal pyramid. This one here has 7 sides, so it's a heptagonal. This one has 10 sides, so it's a decagag. I can't even say it. A decagon pyramid. And then, of course, you have a sphere. So now I've put all your area formulas together. Your lateral area is the area of everything except the bases. So if you just went around the side, it would be those areas. So for instance, if I had a box, like this box right here, right? If this is the way I was holding it, this would be the top, this would be the bottom. The lateral area would be the area going all the way around this way, not including the top and the bottom. So the lateral area is the area going around. So the lateral area would be the area going around each one of these shapes. And there are formulas for those, and it's probably easiest if they say lateral area, I go right to this area of my notes and just follow the formula. If they want the surface area, now the surface area is the area of the whole thing, including the top and the bottom. So you're going to find the lateral area plus the area of the top and the area of the bottom, and that's going to be your surface area. I put all those formulas here. So once again, if it said surface area, I'd go right to that section. And then a little bit later in the chapter, it talks about volume. So again, I put all your volume formulas right here. I would just go right here and use these. In order to find the volume, though, you also need to know some of the area formulas from your last chapter. So I would go ahead and take a look at these. It's just from Unit 8. I've just copied them and put them down here so that you have them all in one place. And then there's just a few examples in here. So these notes, I think, will help you. I keep them handy, especially when you're taking a test or a quiz. So let's go through some examples and see if we can't figure this out. All right. So this is kind of the thought process I would use when I am working through this chapter. Okay, I would take a look at it. And the first thing I would try and figure out is, what is this shape? Well, I can see that my top is parallel to my bottom. So I know it's going to be some kind of a prism. I know it's going to be some kind of a prism. If you remember, a prism is always named by the shape of its base. And so this is a rectangle. So this would be a rectangular prism. All right, so a rectangular prism. It asked to find the surface area. That's what it asked me to find. So I'm going to go to my notes. I'm going to go to the surface area part, and I'm going to find the area of the prism. And it says 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter of the base times the prism height. So let's take each one of these separately. So I know my area is going to equal 2 times the area of the base. Well, I know the base is a rectangle. If I can't remember what the area of a rectangle is, I can always go to my notes here in my area formula. A rectangle is length times width. So this here is my length. This here is my width. So this would be 13 times 6. All right, so now I've got that part of it. So I've got the, the area of the base. Now I need the perimeter of the base. Remember, perimeter is if you're going to be walking all the way around, you're going to add them up. Well, if this front is 13, this back is 13, this 7 is for the height. So basically, if I have my base, it's going to be 13, 13, 6, and 6. If I add all of those up, 6 plus 6 would be 12, plus 13 plus 13 would be 26. So 12 plus 26 would be my whole perimeter. And then I have to multiply it by the prism height. Well, the height of my prism here is 7. All right, so let's go ahead and do up this math. This would be 2 times 13 times 6. I can just go to my handy dandy little calculator and say 13 times 6 is going to be 78. Then I'm going to add 12 plus 26, so that's going to give me 38. And then I'm going to multiply that by 7. I'm going to, oh, I forgot I have to add these together. There's a plus sign in here, right? 2 times the area of the base plus the perimeter. So I forgot that plus sign right in there. So now I'm going to put a plus sign here. So now 2 times 78 will give me 156. Plus 38 times 7 will give me 266. I add those together is 422. My units are yards. This is area, so it's yards squared.